Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. Excuse me. So this episode, first of all, I want to apologize for this video coming out so late. I said this in my other videos, but, I know there's people that watch one show and not the other, and whatever. I was supposed to take a test today. Didn't happen because the power went out, and so, no test. Which kind of sucks, but also I'm like, you know what? I get more study time, so silver lining. With that being said, you know what? This episode was just, I'm confused. I am baffled. Because there was a lot of nothing, and yeah, I felt like there's some stuff that happened that's relevant today, but I felt like a lot of stuff happened yesterday and it's kind of dragged over into today. Well, Sonny confronts Sammy and pretty much just kind of goes off on her. And just as Will is about to sit there and be like, hey, you know what? I should probably jump in and just kind of confess. Sammy knew that, and she, saved her son. Because she knew exactly what her son was going to do. And so she covered for him and made up some sort of BS story about something. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm not going to lie. I wrote down some notes, but some of it I'm just kind of fucking winging because... Anyway, she made up some BS story about how she was going to, she didn't call them because they got into an argument, and Sonny pretty much, confronted her about, Sammy's involvement with Rafe and just messing everything up for, the adoption and everything like that. So Sammy was like, hey, listen, I was in that delivery room and I was trying to get her to sign the papers, and Sonny was like, yeah, I don't really buy a word of what you're saying. But Sammy was like, I'll fix it or whatever, and Sonny was like, no, I think you've done enough. So they go into the room, and by the way, before they go to see Allie, Lucas came in there and saw Allie, and they're talking for a little bit, and Allie brings up the fact that, hey, listen, I don't want Mom to be in here because of this, that, and the third. Also, her butting in to Rafe and stuff like that, and that's when Lucas is like, well, here's the thing. Yeah, I kind of knew all about it. And so Allie gets upset and pretty much just goes off on him and kicks him out the room. And I gotta be honest, I genuinely felt bad for Lucas because he didn't want to stir up any trouble between Allie and Sammy, and he didn't want to lie to his daughter, but Sammy was kind of swarmed secrecy a little bit. And for the person who said that Nicole should have probably kept her mouth shut, if she did that and then Allie found out, she would have been just as upset with Nicole, probably more so, because she lied to her and tried to be a friend. And that's exactly what happened to Lucas. Lucas pretty much didn't tell her the truth, and then she got upset with him. And so yeah, I felt like that was probably the best play for Nicole to do, was to tell the truth and just let her figure it out on her own. But that's just my take on it. But yeah, I genuinely felt bad for Lucas because I'm not gonna lie, when Lucas came in, he did not give me the best impression, and I was like, wow, you are an asshole. And granted, I don't take that away. I still felt like he was just really a lot, but he wasn't trying to do it, with any malice or anything like that, so I genuinely felt bad for him. So anyway, Rafe comes in there because Allie calls Rafe, and Rafe is like, I want you to adopt my baby and stuff like that. This time, after they talk or whatever, and Allie, says, hey, listen, I know exactly what my mom did to you, and then they talk, and she's like, I still want you to be my father's, the... um, she still pretty much was like, I want to give you my baby. But this time, well, Rafe doesn't exactly say no. He doesn't say yes, but he doesn't say no. So he walks out and he sees Sammy, and Sammy gets all up in his face, like no personal space whatsoever. And you know, Rafe is just like, hey, listen, your daughter called me and she wanted to talk, so I'm here. And, you know, Sammy has that look like she just didn't get anything out of what Sonny said. Okay, there's one part where Sonny's not there confronting her. And Sonny's like, you know, listen, I don't like the fact that you interfered, you messed things up for us, yada yada yada. He went in on her. He was like, this is all your fault. And Sammy was just like, wait a minute, how is this my fault? And I'm like, okay, like, really? Just, did you not hear a damn thing that he said? It's almost like it just went over her head. And yes, I understand that Rafe is a big boy. He can make his own choices. If he really want that baby, he wouldn't have let Sammy stop him. But it wasn't the point. It was the point that Sammy interfered because it was what she wanted. And even towards the end, I think she's talking to Lucas, or she's talking to herself, and she's like, well, she's just gonna, you know, I think she's talking to the baby or whatever, and she's like, oh, well, she'll come around or something like that. I'm like, wow, okay, so, yeah, wow. Let's talk about, oh, before I forget. So Sonny and Will go into Allie's room, and you know, my whole thing is, I felt like it was a little weird and a little intrusive because this woman just gave birth not that long ago. And here you got these two people just right in her room, like, here, sign the papers, sign the papers, sign the papers. Are you going to sign the papers? And I'm like, dude, what? Really? I was like, y'all could have waited like a couple of days. Like, she just had the baby, what, yesterday? Give her some breathing room. Give her some space. It's like y'all coming at her like a bunch of vultures. And I think that was the part that was just so uncomfortable when I was watching, because they stood there like, they just showed up and it was like, oh, I heard you had the baby. So you're going to sign the papers? Like, dude, what the like, are you kidding me? So they're standing there and they're like, so, I think Sonny's like, well, he gives his pitch or whatever, and he's like, so, all you need now is for you to sign the papers. And you can just tell. Like, it was almost as though Sonny was just completely fucking clueless. And I felt like Will was kind of a little bit also like, none of y'all thought y'all should have waited. So anyway, they're standing there. And she looks like, I don't want to be mean or anything like that. Like, she has that, I don't want to say anything that's going to hurt their feelings. But finally, she's like, yeah, I'm not going to sign those papers. And now you got both of them looking like a pair of dumbasses. And I'm like, you know what? I really don't feel bad for them, because, and I you know, Lucas pretty much said, this might happen, and I don't want y'all to get your hopes up, and I don't want y'all to feel disappointed. And right before they went in there, you know, Sonny was sitting there saying, listen, we're going to sit there and support her on whatever her decision is. So I'm just sitting there thinking, hey, Sonny, you still feel that way? Still feel like supporting her on her decision, no matter what decision that she decides to go with? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think that they will. I really don't. So anyway, that leaves off, and that ends that portion. Okay, you know what? Okay, so you got the group in New York, the alternate day. I think, what the hell is her name? God damn it, Chloe, I think? Courtney or Chloe? Anyway, okay, here's the thing. So they're all standing there, sitting around, talking about Eve, and they're trying to get information out of her. And, okay, there is gonna be, I'm just gonna come out and sit there and say it. When she's sitting there talking, it's like she's not giving us the whole story, and she's like kind of like meandering around the point that everyone wants to know. And I'm partly like, but then I'm just like, I'm not gonna lie, and I know it sounds really terrible. God, she had some cleavage. Holy shit. I mean, it was like, that was the only thing that kept me remotely interested in what she had to say, because she kept dodging. It's not like she was dodging around it, but she was like, oh, so we hung out a couple of times, and we did this, and we did jazz, and I'm like, what does that have to do with the price of Tina Turner? Like, what does this have to do with anything? Like, they're all trying to figure out what's going on with Eve and her motivations and stuff like that. Like, and at first she's like, oh, well, I don't think that she took her, and I don't think that, I don't think it's possible. I mean, why would she do that for her? And I'm like, Ben killed her. I was like, lady, I'm going to be honest with you. The only reason why you are making me pay any sort of attention to you is because, well, the amazing cleavage that you have. And I know that I said that more than once, but Jesus Christ. With that being said, she said some stuff that was really odd. She pretty much was saying that she was being a Debbie Downer and that she was very negative, and like she always tried to like, bring her up and stuff like that, and she was just like very like down and negative and mean spirited. I was like, you do realize that her daughter got killed, right? You're making it seem like she was just a drag to like hang around with. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, sweetheart. Her daughter got killed. I'm sorry if that's too much of a buzzkill for you. Like, part of it just kind of irked the hell out of me. But, anyway, long story short, she kind of gets to the point when she talks about Eve and the new guy that she's seeing named Vincent and the place that he works at. So, finally, the fucking story actually goes somewhere. And, by the way, there was a part where, Ben actually tried to escape. Like, he's on fucking drugs, and he's trying to tie this necktie around this mannequin, which just sounds fucking silly. And during the hallucination, Sierra tells him to run. So he does just that. He runs, and I'm sitting there thinking, did any of y'all have like a backup plan in case like the drugs didn't work and he decides to just run off? I mean, granted, he didn't get anywhere. He like fell because we need to drag this out. And then he comes in and he like hits Ben with the billy club or whatever. But I'm just like, what was your plan if he ran? Like, I mean, is he like a martial art expert? Like, what? Anyway, he tripped, they brought him back in there, and then she starts her whole song and dance again. Listen, here's the thing. I am actually on her side because, Ben killed her daughter. And the thing that's actually really fucked, now that I sit there and think about it, is that when, Chloe or whatever is there talking about how she, how Eve really hated the fact that Ben killed her daughter, no one is like, they don't bat an eyelash. They're not like, oh yeah, he did that. I mean, I can understand a little bit. It's like no one is like, so he killed somebody's daughter and we're all just supposed to be like, and what's your point? And I'm just like, if I was sitting at that table, I would have been like, yo, so, like, really? No one? Just, okay. So yeah, that pretty much happens, and anyway, where the hell I was? Oh, Eve giving her Bond speech about how you killed my daughter, and she starts playing some really sad song, and then they intensify this mind-altering treatment or whatever, and Well, I'm not gonna lie, that kind of goes on for way too damn long, and somewhere along the line, that pretty much ends that. Oh, also, Hope and Sierra actually finds the clinic, and then they open the door, and then they have this shocked look on their face, and it ends the episode. And well, my conclusion is pretty much that, well, they're gone. They're not there, and they're just looking at whatever was there, because Sierra found a necktie that was there, and yeah, so that's pretty much where it ends. And again, I'm not gonna lie, this episode was just like, I don't know. I mean, I know it's soap operas, and I know they're gonna drag stuff out, but like, Jesus Christ, how long are we gonna have to sit there and wait before they find Ben? Is it gonna be like, I swear, I feel like they're gonna find Ben at like Thursday. Oh, wait a minute. Today is Tuesday. Yeah, maybe they'll find him by Friday. I'm saying Friday. I'm gonna guess Friday. Most likely Thursday, but I'm guessing Friday because they like to kind of. I know what soap operas say, like to stretch stuff out, and to be honest, Days have actually been doing a really good job as far as like not doing that. So I really hope that we do get to some sort of resolution about this whole Ben capturing thing, and we can kind of just move on with the story. And yeah. So anyway, that's gonna do it for this review. So sorry that this came out late. Hopefully people will probably watch it tomorrow. I don't know where everyone's time zone is. I don't know where everyone lives at. I know I live in New York, so I'm going by New York time, and it's already way too fucking late. So anyway, that's gonna do it. Thank you for watching. Be safe. I will catch you in the next review. Which, by the way, tomorrow is going to be a lot earlier because I'm off from work and I can get to just do all my reviews pretty much right after the episode ends. So, you know, I really can't wait till I'm doing this like full time. I'm actually making like a paycheck. Why? Just why? Anyway, like I said, I can't wait till I'm doing this like full time. I could just do this 5 days a week. And, life would be so much more simpler when that happens. So hopefully I start to get some more subs and, you know, kind of start building up my audience. Anyway, that's the goal. Enough of me rambling. Be safe. I will catch you in the next review.